All right, so now we're going to start piece 6. So we need to go to the plus sign in the bottom left-hand corner, create part studio, and this is where we are going to work. So this is what the part is going to look like. If you followed along with for part 5A, you're going to see that it basically looks the same. It's just a mirror image, which is correct. So we're basically going to make the exact same thing, just, well, mirror image. So I broke this into 2 sections like I did before. So blue is going to be our first layer and orange is going to be our second layer. So this will be our first layer. This time I'm going to draw it with lines instead of drawing it with the rectangle tool. Okay, so what I'm going to do first is create a sketch on my front plane, and then I'm going to flatten it out so I can see what I'm doing. I'm going to draw my shape. It pretty much looks like the V shape that we made earlier. And remember, you want to make sure that all your angles are nice and 90 degrees. Okay, so now I need to add in my dimensions. So I'm going to go here for a second and just kind of pause. So you guys can pause the video if you need to, but we have 2 longer dimensions that are 2 inches each, and then 2 shorter dimensions that are 1 inch each. Okay, so I'm going to add in the larger dimensions first. So let's see, we have 2 inches. Oh, I accidentally got an angle there, so I can just use my backspace on my keyboard, go to my dimension tool, and add it back in. There we go. Okay, so we can see right now I added some dimensions, but it's still not really turning, the blue lines aren't turning black. So add in another one, starting to get a little bit better. Add in my last one, and we can see that all of the lines have turned black. So if you still have one that's blue at this point, chances are one of your lines is like crooked. So what you can do to straighten them out, if you know which one it is use the horizontal or vertical constraints. So that will just be a little trial and error until you straighten whatever line it is out, because that's all the dimensions you'll need for this one. So now what we can do is tilt it so we can kind of see more of like a 3D angle. We're going to click on extrude. Okay, for mine, it extruded just fine. If it doesn't, just click on your shape, and if that doesn't work, go back to your sketch one and make sure you have all of your lines. All right, my depth for this one is 1 inch, so that is all set. Okay, so we have our first layer. Now we need to make our next layer. So we're going to go here, and we can see we have that 1 orange cube left. So basically we're doing the exact same thing we did with part 5, just for the other side. So again, we're going to use the corner rectangle tool, make sure we clip it into these 2 points, and then it'll be kind of like self-dimensioned. So we need to create a sketch on this frontmost surface. So this part that's outlined in the orangey yellow. Okay, we can see that we have our sketch 2. It's a little crooked, so we can just flatten it out. We can use our corner rectangle tool. I'm going to start at the origin and move out to the other dot right there. Okay, so you saw for about half a second it was blue and then changed to black. When everything changes to black, you know that you have it placed where you need it to go. Okay, so now I'm going to tilt it so I get more of a 3D view. Extrude. Oh, I got lucky and knew where I wanted to extrude. So if it doesn't know, because you can kind of see that there's 2 shapes here, you'll just have to click on your square and it'll turn into a cube. Make sure your depth is 1 inch. And we are all set for this one. So if I can just go over to here, you can see that these 2 are mirror images of each other. So I'm going to rename this part. So piece 6B. All right, so that's it for this piece. So good luck, one more piece to go.